everybody, welcome to the Legacy Universe. It's me, Ash.
And it's John.
And we are very excited because today we are going to be talking about the Prom. I want to start off by letting you guys know that we did a reaction video to the trailer and yes. I was very excited. John had no idea about anything about the Prom, yes. but he was very excited because he loved the trailer. So
and we were surprised on how people were reacting to the trailer.
But if you guys want to check that out, I'm going to put the link somewhere here, so it's going to pop and you guys can definitely check it out. This is a Netflix film that is directed by Ryan Murphy, and it is the adaptation of the musical that premiered in 2018 on Broadway. I've seen the Broadway show, and John has not seen the Broadway show. No. So you're going to get the perspective from me that I've seen the show, and then you have John's perspective, who's not like a big, Broadway fan. Somebody who had no idea about the plot. No idea about anything that happened in the show, and he saw the film.
Well, I'm going to tell you off the bat. This was just like a game that I recently played, which was The Last of Us 2. This also hit a chord in my heart where it showed exactly where we are at with society and what we are not supposed to be. Like we're supposed to be so inclusive. We're supposed to be, try and be peaceful human beings, understanding, and not everything falls to our favor in terms of personal, but it doesn't do any damage either. This movie, I loved it so much. I cried so many times. I was crying probably during the entire film. Yeah. That I can relate a little bit to it because I do have a family member that falls under the category. It was hitting home and hitting close to my heart where I've always been this person that I've been pro everything that happens in the movie, and it was great. But to see, the negativity, the opposite, the reaction, that to me was like mind-boggling that this truly happened. Yeah. I would have been the actual actors that went from Broadway to just to save the little girl, Emma, to save her. Yeah. But I truly loved this freaking movie to its max, and I was really anticipating something great, something wonderful, and I got more than what I wanted. It was fantastic in my opinion. I truly loved it. It's very rare that I really don't like something. Yeah, and I can see when something.
But you're very picky with like musicals.
I'm very picky.
I have to know what to show him because I know that there are some things that he will love, and then there are some things that he will hate. But I had a feeling that he was going to like this film as much as I like this show. If you guys don't know what this movie is about, it basically tells the story of Emma, who is this high school student in Edgewater, Indiana. She wants to go to prom with her girlfriend, and then the PTA decides to shut down the prom because they don't like her lifestyle choice. I have to say that from somebody who has seen the show on Broadway, I love the fact that even though it was a movie adaptation, the film still felt like a Broadway production. This film is like 2 hours, so it's a pretty long film, but it had the same feel that I had during the show. I liked how Ryan Murphy transitioned the scenes to the songs, because my problem with like movie musicals is that sometimes when they're like speaking and they jump into a song, it can be corny. It can be corny or really tacky, and then you can't suspend yourself from that. I love musical theater. I'll love it always more on a theater than on screen. Yeah. But I'm a realistic person when it comes to not liking musical adaptations.
I don't sing out of nowhere.
Exactly. What Ryan Murphy did in this film that I thought was so amazing was the fact that when a character would stop doing a dialogue, he would hit a cue of lights. I like how he did it because, and I was telling you this, it really felt like you were in that character's head.
Yeah. Oh so my God, you took it out of my brain now.
So
wow.
you were seeing what each character was thinking of or visualizing in their head.
Yes.
Except for the scene where Andrew Ranells sings Love Thy Neighbor, which was at a mall, which I think he did it really well because he had the performance and then he had people surrounded in the mall. And that's something that would happen at a mall.
Yes.
So
it's like what do you call those things where there's some,
like a flash mob.
like a flash mob. It felt like a flash mob. Yeah.
I thought Ryan Murphy did it really well, and if you know, Ryan Murphy has like different styles, but if you are a fan of Glee, I think you're gonna love this movie. The cast in this movie is amazing.
Yeah.
The cast is superb. That's something that I knew from the moment that I heard about the casting and seeing them in the trailer. I thought that everybody did justice for every single character that was involved in the story.
Yeah, I felt like no one was wasted or was unnecessary. I felt like everybody had their purpose in the film.
For me personally, I think that Meryl Streep is a standout in this film. I think she's spectacular, and I was not expecting anything less because I went to see the show and
it's Meryl Streep.
Yeah, it's Meryl Streep, but I went to see the Broadway show with Beth Leavel, who played Dee Dee, and when I saw her, she got like 2 standing ovations. Like she would steal the show.
Wow.
So I was expecting Dee Dee to be as big and as out there in the film, and I think Meryl Streep did a fantastic job.
The thing that I love most about this film as well is that it actually speaks about what goes on Broadway.
Yeah, it has like certain criticisms about musicals and the musical theater.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were trying to deliver exactly what they've been through and show us how wrong that is and how you also need to change, because being a star can also change you. And we see how Dee Dee was changed when Keegan-Michael started singing this song, The Way We Look at You. We look to you. Sorry. When he started singing this song, I was listening. I was really, really listening to the song. And this is probably my favorite song. Like, I have also Love Thy Neighbor, but the reason why this is my favorite song is because it speaks to exactly what I want to become, what we want to be, for everyone else that's watching. The entertainment to distract somebody from any pain that they're going through their life and try and help them suspend their disbelief for 2 hours at least, or for these 10 minutes, 15 minutes of your life, and help you get distracted and be part of our universe, be part of our world. And when he was singing it to her, Dee Dee saw this and she turned around and actually started looking at her position in a totally different light, because she never had that interaction with a fan like she did with him. He was the one defending Emma, so you could tell that this person had correct moral values and no impulse of, stardom, where it is, oh, I see a star, I have an impulse to, he was always under control. That's why this is my favorite character. I said it.
I think that number specifically was the best one because they aced it, man. I think what Ryan Murphy did was encompass so brilliantly what at least we feel when we see entertainment. And I was getting really choked up because I love musical theater, and when I go to musical theater, I was feeling all of the things that he explained in the song, and we saw reflected in his scenes. And
I love what you said earlier, not to cut you off. I love what you said earlier, that everything is in their minds. Yeah. Because that's how they view. So he was
remembering when he went to see her on Broadway.
That's how crazy. They view everything. That's how they see it. And that's how I think it should be.
I want to talk about Ariana DeBose. I was really excited to see her in this film because I've known her since Donna Summer. I had the opportunity to see her play Donna Summer on Broadway, and I think she's fantastic. I loved her in this film. I thought her portrayal of Alyssa was great, and I'm really freaking excited to see her as Anita in West Side Story, because it was in this film and she was great, man. Like that. My favorite scene of hers was the scene where where Emma breaks up with her.
Yes.
That scene, she was freaking fantastic in that scene, and if she did what she did here, I can't even imagine how she's gonna be in West Side Story.
That particular scene right there got me very excited because of the performances and how I was You remember how I was speaking?
Emma said everything that he was thinking. The last person that I want to talk about, it's kind of controversial, but James Corden. I remember that when we did the reaction, we had a few comments of people saying like, I'm not liking James Corden, and I could see it in a way because I do think that how the character was portrayed in the show, maybe James Corden was like a little bit toned down in a way. But for me, I honestly had no problem with his performance. I think at the beginning it was kind of like off, but he starts to grow. He starts to grow on you, and I really have to say that for me, the scene where he reunites with his mom was like I can't even put that scene into words because I was not expecting that scene to hit me so hard as it did. I think that if you guys don't want to see this film because James Corden is in it, I would say just give it a chance. I feel that we live in a world where we are so influenced by somebody saying on social media he sucks, and then everybody gets on that boat without like watching the final product. So I would recommend you giving him a chance. If you are not gonna like James Corden, let it be because you had the experience of watching this film.
In my eyes, there was nothing wrong with it. I already loved the character. I already loved the beginning number of the
this
movie.
This movie starts with a bang.
So for me, there was no moments where it was down, and even on the bus when they're speaking to each other, where Meryl Streep actually crosses over just to lay on his shoulder. The reunion with the mom. When he takes Emma to the mall. When Emma takes him out and says, I want you to be my prom date. So there was so many moments where James Corden actually shined. You said that the song that was in the musical, but the part of the performance where he dreams that he's in the prom with the little kid, that wasn't in the musical, right?
It's the song where Barry, he's excited that he's going to go to prom with Emma. I loved what Ryan Murphy did in this film because he basically had James Corden's character revisit himself as a kid, and he celebrated the prom with him as a kid. Like, it was so mind-boggling to me. We're probably gonna be in like the minority, but we didn't have a problem with James Corden in this film
at all.
Also, I liked Nicole Kidman's character.
Yes,
I liked Kerry Washington. I mean, Kerry Washington she's a freaking great actress, but I thought she was incredible. I cannot fault anybody, and I really did like Jo Ellen Pellman in her debut. Other notes that I have, the biggest thing that I was worried about was that I thought that the Broadway show was so important and the message in the Broadway show was so important. Sometimes when you adapt it from a show to a movie, it could be lost. I feel that this movie does a great job at sending the message, because I think that this story it's such a beautiful message of acceptance and us being together and just letting people do whatever they want to do. Like, why are we like so focused on other people's lives, their decisions, who they want to love, who they want to be with? It's like, if it doesn't affect you, just let them be. And I think that this is a very important, as the show was an important show. I think this is a very important film. This movie is a great lesson in acceptance. I thought that some of the things that were cut were good, like it worked. For example, the rally part in the Broadway show, it's a whole song. In the movie, they actually cut it. I thought it was effective in order for the movie to keep moving forward. I do have two observations. Me as like a Broadway, geek person, that's how the show. It doesn't necessarily mean that it tarnished the experience for me. So the thing that I liked the most about Emma in the Broadway show was the fact that she was very awkward, very quirky. She was nerdy. And even though I wasn't going through the same thing that she was going, I felt related to her because she didn't know how to fit in. And even though we do see some aspects of Emma like that in the film, I felt that how I was seeing her character, I didn't have that same feeling of relatability with this Emma than what I had with the Broadway show Emma. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
No, yeah, you would expect this character to be even lower into society's checklist.
And I'm not saying that a girl that looks like how Emma looks in the movie doesn't necessarily go through these things, but the whole point the whole point of the Broadway show, of Emma in that Broadway show, was the fact that she was I've just been in that place where Emma was in the Broadway show. Yeah. Like, she was gawky, she had glasses.
It's true.
For me, that was something that I would have liked to see in the film. Another thing that I noticed was the fact that I wish that the relationship between Alyssa and Emma had a little bit more development, because even though I felt for them, I understood what was happening and I understood their story. I just feel that sometimes, even though we got a lot of Emma, it was more focused on the other characters, for example. So I feel that because of the fact that Ryan Murphy got such an incredible cast, I feel that Emma and Alyssa's story, and Emma in general, kind of suffered in the film, because you're not seeing this film and you're thinking, oh, this is Emma's story. Everybody's talking about Meryl Streep, James Corden, Nicole Kidman, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
this is
I think that you're. Oh, you know what? It occurred to me.
It was an observation.
I think you're absolutely right.
And the point of the prom is that this was Emma's story of her wanting to go to prom with her girlfriend, and the PTA shutting down her prom, and she had so much weight on the show. Again, it didn't affect my experience. Yeah, no, but I still think it's a great film.
I think it's perfect, even though I'm seeing that point that you're bringing, because now I'm rewatching the movie in my head, and I'm like, oh, wow. I think everybody else has more scenes together than Emma and Alyssa. Even Alyssa together. And I think that's true.
And they actually, I didn't realize this. In the scenes where they were asking everybody to prom in the Broadway show, Emma and Alyssa have a scene where she asked Alyssa to go to prom, and it was cut from the film. And that was another thing that you could have added to further develop their characters. I feel like if you have seen the show, you guys will understand me, but I really wish that it was more developed. Again, it didn't tarnish my experience. I really loved this film. I think it's my second favorite movie musical adaptation.
I think it's my number one.
My number...
It's so my number one. My number one is that. My number two is Hairspray. Prom. The reason why Prom is my number one is because Prom hit in my heart. Yeah. I just wanted to say one more thing about my second favorite song. It was Love Thy Neighbor. And it's funny that the actor that actually played the principal role in the Book of Mormon, where the Book of Mormon, it's kind of the line of, I'm going to hit your face with reality and what society thinks that is right, which is not. It's more of the common sense. Because I don't want to get into the religion aspect of anything on that, but I will give you one thing. When the Bible was created, it was created in a moment where the population was going crazy and it needed to be under control. But as the song explains, there is a lot of contradiction within it. The song plays beautifully and it makes the teenagers come to their senses. So I think that this song and this number was really cool, really great. It really explained, like, is it, like, you're doing this, is that really that wrong?
Yeah, we love The Prom. Go check it out on Netflix. It's a movie that you should see it just because of the message of acceptance. I think it's a great adaptation that Ryan Murphy has done from stage to screen. It has a great cast. Musical numbers are fantastic.
I recommend you watch it. Have your own opinion. Don't listen to everybody else. Thank you for watching us. I hope you enjoyed it. If you really like this, we're going to continue doing more and more. So thank you. Have a wonderful day, and see you guys next time.
Give us some sass.
Jazz hands.
I don't know what we're doing. Bye.